Hey Libras, welcome back to Tarot Talk with me, Tawanantoinette. I've been away for a little while. I've missed you guys. Today we're going to do your June reading, so get ready for that. It's about to be good. Before we jump into the reading, just a few announcements for you guys. You know, I always have to start with my announcements. This is where I get to talk to you guys for a little bit. First thing I'd like to say is thank you guys for your support. I know that I have not been putting out readings as often as I used to put readings out, but please bear in mind that we have a lot of eclipses in Taurus and Scorpio. We have 3 or 4 this year, so there's a lot of changes happening on my end. So thank you for those of you who are remaining patient with me as I figure out my schedule and what makes sense for me and how often I'm going to upload. I think what's going to work for me is doing readings or putting out monthly readings, and then I'll probably do another set of check-ins, but I'm not sure how I'll set that up yet, so I'll keep you guys informed. But if you're tuning in on YouTube, listening on the podcast, I thank you so much for all of your support. Remember to like and subscribe and share and rate and all that good stuff, as that encourages me to continue to put out this free content for you guys. So please feel free to support. I really appreciate all the support that I get. And for those of you who'd like to book a personal reading with me, remember the link is in the description. For those of you who have booked personal readings with me, thank you so much. I am always very, very flattered that you trust me to deliver these messages to you. And with that said, let's begin. This is going to resonate for Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Check your rising sign first, but you guys already knew that. So with that said, let's just jump into things. Now, the first card we have is TikTok. And I really sat here and thought about this card for a minute because it was a little bit confusing. We are starting out with a Temperance card. So it feels like a relationship is coming together. A relationship has been coming together. We have the Temperance, and then beneath that we have the Lovers card with the 5 of Pentacles. Then underneath that we have the 2 of Cups and the 8 of Swords. So gems, what's going on? It feels like a relationship has been like trying to come together. For some reason, this feels like there's trouble with the uniting, like the union of 2 people. It could be that maybe you feel like in June, you feel like this relationship, like you're worried about when this relationship will end, or you're worrying about someone stepping out of this relationship. I feel like there's some timing issue as it relates to the coming together of 2 people that has you worried or has you trapped. It feels like you constantly are thinking about the ending of a relationship, or if this relationship has served its time, or yeah, it feels like a lot of nerves to me. It's almost like you're wondering if, so like for example, you get into a new relationship, right? You both choose. It's like you choose each other, but one of you, Geminis, I feel like this is you. You're the air energy here, and I intuitively feel like you're the one worried and in your head. But it almost feels like on your part, you're like, okay, waiting for the shoe to drop, like waiting for the moment that I hear that I don't really want to be in this relationship anymore. It's this thing with waiting, like the timing of something. For some of you, maybe the timing of a relationship with a person isn't syncing up, meaning right time for you, wrong time for them. Right time for them, wrong time for you. You know? I don't know if I believe in right person, wrong timing anymore, but that's a separate conversation for another day. The reason why I say that is because if they were the right person, regardless of the timing, wouldn't you both make it work? But then there are situations where there are people who don't get together at one point of life and then they meet at another point in both of their lives, and then it works and they get together and they're happy and continue to be thereafter. So I don't know. Personally, I don't believe in right person, wrong timing, but you guys can let me know what you think. If you're watching on YouTube, let me know your thoughts on that. But it feels like there's timing that is an issue in a relationship. It's either wrong timing for two people to come together, or you, Libra, you are worried about the timing of a specific thing. Like, how long will this last? When will the shoe drop? Like, what is the long term, how long term is this situation gonna be? And there's a lot of thoughts going on about this timing issue in this connection. My advice to you is as long as two people want a relationship, that relationship is going to work. And the only thing that you have control over is your own wants, needs, actions, behaviors, and desires. So taking on the stress of worrying about when the shoe will fall if you're dealing with another person is really an unnecessary burden to bear, in my opinion, because you can't control people's feelings. People may be up one day with you and it's all smiles, and the next day you see them, it's not that same reaction to you anymore. And that goes for lovers, friends, acquaintances, everybody. Feelings change just like that. So taking on the burden of wondering when somebody's feelings are going to change towards you is too heavy a burden for you to bear. And that's the advice that I'm going to give you if you find yourself overthinking on when the shoe is going to fall. Or if you find yourself overthinking on right person, wrong time. What's meant to be will be. What you're supposed to have, no one can take from you. So that's my closing argument for this row. Now, second row, we have go the distance, which talks about the long term. You're doing something for the long term. You're playing the long game. And I feel like this is as it concerns a business, a career, somewhere where you earn money, income, something that the Ten of Pentacles can talk about relationships too, but I feel like for you in this reading, it talks about money and career and finances. There's something that you're waiting for as it relates to money, your career, your finances, or a business that you're working on. And I feel like in the process of you waiting, you've been kind of like, this could be waiting for a specific result, waiting to find out if you got that promotion, waiting to find out if you're going to get that raise, waiting to find out if, you're waiting on something. And I feel like in June, you'll be celebrating because you'll get news of whatever it is that you have been waiting for as it pertains to whatever this Ten of Pentacles represents to you. It's almost like communication that you're receiving. You've manifested this, Libras. You've literally manifested this. So this is a moment of celebration for you in June. Feels like you're receiving some kind of news, and it's good news. Good news for your business. You got that loan. You got that mentor. You got that contract. You got that angel investor. You got that grant, whatever it is, whatever kind of news you're waiting for. I see you celebrating receiving good news for your business or for your job or for your career in June. Now, on the last row, we have to the sea. Let me show you guys this card. To the sea, which talks about surrendering to the flow of life and going with the flow. Which sometimes going with the flow is not what we want to do, but it's the best thing for us. Sometimes we just have to surrender and submit to whatever it is that is going on in our lives. And to the sea also talks about moving on from something. It's the Six of Swords to me in this deck, in the Wisdom of the Oracle deck, which the Six of Swords talks about moving on from difficulty to a calmer space. So this is in relation to, I think this is going to be romantic to a lot of you, but you could be dealing with a family member as well. there is a water sign that's coming into focus here. Could be a water sign, or it could be somebody who comes off as very charming, somebody who works and operates and engages with the world and others from a heart space. Possibly somebody who is sensitive, possibly somebody who is connected to their emotions. Those are all traits of water signs, which is why this card is linked to Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. But they don't have to be a water sign to come up as the Knight of Cups. We have the 10 of Cups, the Knight of Cups is strength, the Tower, and the 7 of Wands. Feels like you're having to have a lot of strength as it pertains to a particular person in your life. You're having to have a lot of strength because you may be resisting this person, or you may have to stand up for yourself as it pertains to dealing with this person. You may have to defend your unique perspective or your point of view. I don't know what point of view you're defending, but you guys have different scenarios going on. But it feels like you're being contacted, or this person is reaching out to you to offer you some kind of emotional conversation, or I feel like you are on defense. This may not be a person you want to hear from. And you may even be surprised to hear from this person. I think your intention is to move on from this person, so you're having to have very strong boundaries when they approach you. But when I pulled the advice card said nourish the soul. So sometimes we act like, like we're so caught up in acting like. So it could be that we're acting like we don't want this person to talk to us, but really and truly we do. We're acting like we don't want to move on and squash the issue, but really and truly we do. And that's what I feel like is happening here. I think it's a moment of being honest with yourself. So if this person comes to you and you know that they still have a place in your heart, or that you would like for things to be mended with them, I feel like you guys could move on to a calmer space. It's up to you. Others of you will be moving on from this situation because it just doesn't nourish you like you would like it to anymore. This person doesn't bring nourishment to you. This person doesn't bring calmness to you. This person doesn't bring love to you. They bring distress. So it's going to be up to you guys what you want to do, but I do see someone coming in to have some kind of emotional exchange with you. For those of you who that this is somebody who you still have feelings for, there's an opportunity to let two become one. And what I mean by that is to unite in whatever way it makes sense for you. If it's a family member, maybe let two become one means squashing the issue and arriving at a solution that makes things a lot more amicable between you. If this is romantic, it's maybe there's a possibility of reconciling with this person if you both are on the same page, if it is healthy for you, if it is something that benefits the both of you moving forward. So expect that. And let's get some advice. Spirit, what's the advice for Libras in June? Advice for Libras in June, Spirit. What is the self-care advice for Libras in June? Guys, remember to follow Tarot by Tawana on Instagram. It is our newest community where I post short messages using the tarot. I'll be using that platform a lot more often since I'm not on YouTube updating weekly anymore. I find it really, really cool for putting out short snippets of what to expect. A lot of people can't necessarily listen to a video, listen to a podcast, but they can read stuff that's coming up for them on a short Instagram post. So follow at Tarot by Tawana. It's our community for all tarot talk done by me. So, Spirit, what's your advice for Libras? This card hardly comes out, so this is great. This card says meditate. This may be really, really helpful to you in the month of June. So for self-care, find a quiet space and connect with yourself via meditations. And it's, I want to say, meditation doesn't always have to look like this lady sitting in solitude and her eyes are closed and all of that stuff. You could practice walking meditations. You could practice meditating while you are in nature. There's so many ways to meditate. You have to find what makes sense for you. So that's just an important thing for me to say, because a lot of people feel like, oh, I have to sit down and close my eyes and meditate, and that's not something that works for me. So you have to find what works for you. The same thing doesn't work for every single person. Now, I want to start introducing something to my channel called Do's and Don'ts. So we're going to find if there's one thing that you absolutely need to do, or there's one perspective you absolutely need to have, or wow, Mercury retrograde, I cannot speak. All right, if there's one thing you must do, I want Spirit to tell you. And if there's one thing that you absolutely should not do, I want Spirit to also tell you. So now we're going to pull on the do for the month. Spirit, what should Geminis do this month? In June, what should Geminis do? If they don't do anything else, they should do this. What should Geminis do this in June? Page of Cups. I feel like this talks about being creative. This talks about working from your heart. What makes sense for you from a heart space? Did I call you guys Geminis? If so, sorry. I meant Libras. I just did the Gemini reading. But how can you prioritize creativity in your daily habits? How can you prioritize coming from emotional fulfillment? Who emotionally fulfills you? Does this person emotionally fulfill you? If not, they don't have a space with you anymore. I also feel like this card talks about apologizing, being open to apologizing and being open to receiving apologies from others. So if you do find yourself in a situation where someone is apologizing, be open to that. Be open to resolving the issue, being amicable with each other, but also prioritize your creativity and what makes you excited from a heart space. What should Libras avoid doing this in June? What should Libras avoid doing in June? Avoid closing something out. I feel like, and I just heard prematurely. Avoid closing things out prematurely. I feel like something has not been completed yet. So Spirit is saying, hey, before you close that door, before you end this, really think about it. And it doesn't mean that maybe you won't decide to close things in the future, but I feel like there's something that you need to give a second thought to. Like, you may be saying, oh, I'm just going to end it. I'm done with this, or I'm done with that person. But I think Spirit is saying, hey, take a second look before you end things. Don't just be so speedy. Maybe there is more to learn. So guys, I'm going to leave you here. I hope this reading helps you. And with that said, I will see you next time. Remember, if you'd like to book a personal reading with me, that link is in the description. And until next time, follow me on Instagram so that you guys can keep up with me. Bye.